Hi, I'm Jane, and today I'm going to explain the pyramid model of the mind. As you can see, it's split into two halves. The top half representing your conscious mind and the bottom half representing your subconscious or unconscious mind. Now, they're not really separate entities. They're more like two different personalities. The top, your conscious mind, is very aware, and it can handle up to 6 to 7 bits of information at any one time. Now, your unconscious mind handles just about everything else. So when things happen in life, and we'll use the clouds to represent experiences and situations. So let's say you have a good, happy experience, and what happens is your body stores that in your unconscious or your subconscious as a representation and memory. In there, it will store your feelings, your emotions, and basically how to be, how to react in that situation. So when you have a nice, happy experience, all those experiences and emotions are stored, and you kind of know how to be. So when another one comes along, you can recognise it and you know that's how you need to be. So these will be little triggers that will happen during any time of any day. And your body will simply go in and retrieve how to do that, how to be, how to react, and that's what will happen. So this is a great system. At first, you might not realise what a fantastic system it is. But if you take an example of a chair, chairs come in different sizes, different shapes, different colours, but you always recognise a chair, don't you? And you know a chair is an object to be sat in. The same goes for a pen, or even riding a bike, something that's more technical and more complicated. Once you know the process to ride a bike, you never forget. You might be a little bit wobbly to start if you haven't been on one for a while, but that's just your balance. The actual process of riding a bike, you know how to experience that. So what happens if during one of these times you have a day or an experience that's not really that pleasant, a little bit fearful? The same thing happens and your body will store that as a memory. So the next time something comes along, and this will act as a trigger, it will go inside, trigger that memory, and that's the way you'll respond and act. If it's something unpleasant, then you could have unpleasant feelings, an unpleasant response in some way, but it will create a physical experience in your current real world. Now, this process happens really, really fast. It's something like 0.02 of a second. So as you can see, information comes in, we access what's stored about that, and that creates your experience throughout all day, every day. And then that becomes what we're aware of. So what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're feeling at any given situation. This is going continuously in the region of 60,000 times a day, in and out, as our thoughts are being processed and our reactions are changing. So let's look what might happen to the average person. You see, the average person isn't aware of what's going on down here. Okay? It's hidden away, it's tucked away. You're not aware of it. So sometimes within a situation, an input would come in. Now, these could be all sorts of different things. So it could be animals, going to the dentist or the hospital, flying for a holiday, public speaking, or just public events. These are general everyday fears that I come across, that people experience these situations, and every time they come across them, then that stirs a representation in them, a response, a thought, a feeling, an emotion, something that they don't like. Now the same happens in a positive way, as we've said before, but just for now I'd like to focus on things that are more problems, simple fears. Now when people come to see me, this is the point where they're at. Something is happening in their life that's then stirring a reaction that they don't like, something that they're not happy with. So as I've said, that could be feeling a certain way or reacting a certain way. Even things like drinking and smoking, those sort of habits, is generally a response to something that's happening as a trigger in your normal world that's triggering a response from a memory from before and causing you to react in that way. Now this is really unpleasant for most people. You know, it could lead to anxieties, depressions. You know, it could be something that you face that often that you now stop going out so much and end up feeling very alone and isolated. At this point, most people try to avoid what's causing this stress to them in some way. So at this point, most people try to avoid what's causing them stress. Now, unfortunately, things don't work that way. For some reason, we're drawn to what we're trying to avoid. A bit like the law of attraction, you know, it's bringing you abundance, but abundance of what you don't really want because you're trying to avoid it. So whatever we seem to fear or dread will just keep popping up over and over again until it creates a kind of loop. Whatever we're trying to avoid will seek to bring that experience back, bringing that feeling back, bringing it all the way back up to the surface, resulting in the kinds of people that I see regularly. Every experience is stored, and if it's not processed properly, they will just be kept there. Keep bringing themselves back, looking for situations and opportunities to do that. There's also another part to consider, and that's your belief system. So this is like a kind of quick reference guide, really, so that you don't have to check every memory. You simply need to ask questions like, what do I believe about this? What do I know about this? Or what do I expect to happen in this situation? You see, the feelings and the emotions are there, but it's the way and what you believe that's the most important. Now, my job as a hypnotherapist is to interrupt that pattern, that sequence that's going on. And during the course of my work with a client, I will infiltrate these memories and change the feelings and emotions that are connected to that situation. So you can still have the memory of what's happened and that sort of thing, but the emotion, the feeling that's causing the problem or the trauma or the discomfort related to that situation is simply removed. The pattern is changed. So I'm Jane Wienels. If you'd like to know more about the work that I do and how I work with clients on different levels, then please feel free to check out my website at abstractmind.co.uk. Follow me on Facebook as Abstract Coaching and also on YouTube as Abstract Coaching. If you have any questions, then I'll be happy to answer them.